Chapter 16. As Shira left the parking lot, she spotted Andrew's car idling behind her. He was probably going to follow her, not surprising. He'd seen enough to be suspicious by now. But as she pulled out onto the road, Andrew didn't follow. His car turned in the opposite direction. Her eyes narrowed. Why isn't he following me? Her thoughts buzzed with tension as she watched his taillights disappear into the distance. He was planning something. She was sure of it. And that uncertainty made her skin crawl. Andrew was too sharp to just let this drop. He had already sensed there was more going on beneath the surface. And the worst part was he was right. Damn it. Her hands tightened on the steering wheel. This is getting too complicated. And it's my fault. She'd pulled him into this. He wasn't just an observer anymore. He was tangled in the mess because of her carelessness. And the way she felt around him, that dangerous pull, made it harder to keep her focus where it needed to be. He reminds me of him. The thought hit like a blade. She inhaled sharply and forced it aside. Tomorrow she'd handle Andrew, cut him loose before he got pulled in any deeper. For now, she had bigger problems. The conversation with Daniel echoed in her mind as she sped toward the nest. Why were the Saravians targeting old bloods? Worse, why was Craven hiding it? And who was he hiding it from? Just the nest. Or the council as well. The mere presence of old bloods in the city was baffling. That they were being targeted by the Asharis was even more so. Craven should have alerted the elders immediately. This kind of attack was too dangerous to keep quiet. He should have called for backup, sent hunters into the streets to track down the culprits. His team was too small and under-equipped to handle this alone. Unless they didn't realize the victims were vampires? No, that didn't make sense. If she'd figured it out just from the absence of fingerprints, then Sakura's team would have too. And then she remembered Soren slipping something into his coat as he left the apartment that night. It must have been the blood supplies, which meant he knew, at least that they were vampires. The question was, how much did he know? If Daniel had pieced it together, Sakura should have as well. For all his arrogance, he was a sharp hunter. He didn't miss things. He wouldn't have missed this. Damn it, why didn't I see this sooner? Shira's jaw tightened. All the signs had been there, the violent struggle, the ancient books written in dead languages. How could I have missed it? Anger coiled in her chest as she pulled into the nest's courtyard. The sprawling 16th century mansion loomed before her, dark and imposing against the night sky. What was she supposed to do now? Confront Sakura? Take it to Marius? Or keep quiet until she had more proof? And Andrew? Her chest tightened at the thought of him. She'd been reckless letting him get too close. And now he was involved. And there was something about him, the way he saw through her defenses, that made her weak. She couldn't afford that, not now. Tomorrow she'd cut him loose. She pushed the thought aside and stepped into the mansion. The noise hit her first. A low hum of voices, laughter, and movement. The nest had been quiet for centuries, ever since it had become a headquarter for the hunters. But now the great hall was full again, brimming with life. The walls glittered with candlelight, and the scent of old wine and burning wood curled in the air. Shira's eyes swept the room, and her chest tightened as she recognized several faces, vampires she hadn't seen in centuries. What the hell is going on? She moved toward the staircase, quickening her pace. The last thing she needed was to be recognized. Vampires had long memories, and reunions tended to come with dangerous levels of sentimentality. Shira. Her shoulders stiffened. Oh hell, she didn't turn. A hand caught her arm. Shira. She turned, sighing. Erica. Erica grinned. Running from old friends? Shira's gaze flicked toward a table at the base of the stairs. Not my friends. What are they doing here? The elders chose our nest for the peace talks. Shira's eyes sharpened. I thought that was cancelled. Delayed, Erica said. 3 days. The council guard is here to secure the nest and the city. Erica smiled knowingly. They don't trust Craven. I wonder why. Shera's gaze swept the hall, taking it all in. The elders aren't here yet. They arrive tomorrow, all except one. Who? Lord Marius. Shera stilled. Marius? He wants to see you. Where? Craven's office. Of course. Marius was an elder she had met through Daniel. Though both denied it, she was certain they still kept in touch even after Daniel had stopped being a hunter. Unlike most of the council, Marius was different. Sharp, unorthodox, and unapologetically direct. He bent the rules without pretending he didn't. And unlike half the elders, he wasn't a hypocrite. He was also one of the few who genuinely wanted peace with the Asharis. While others claimed the same, their words were hollow, performances meant to mask their thirst for power. The war had become a convenient excuse for the council's influence. If peace ever came, their authority would crumble. That's why so many of them secretly worked to prolong the conflict, jockeying for dominance in a future they claimed to oppose. Marius never played those games. He spoke plainly and acted deliberately, and Shera respected him for it. Besides Daniel, he was one of the only vampires she truly trusted. They had grown close quickly. He had never pressed her about why she joined the Hunters, even though she was sure he'd guessed. He gave her space when she needed it and showed up when she didn't expect him to, but always when it mattered. His advice, rare but pointed, had a way of cutting through her defenses. Over time, she had begun to see him not just as an ally, but as something else entirely. The father she'd never had. She headed for the office. Sakura was waiting in the hallway. Everything okay? Shouldn't it be? I heard you were looking for someone. His smile was thin. Shera's gaze sharpened. He knew about her request to Gabe. How? I assume the humans are well taken care of? It's easier than I expected, Shera said coolly. Sakura's smile widened. Now that Daddy is here, maybe he can fix things for you. Shera's jaw tightened. She brushed past him without replying. In the shadows, Craven watched. She doesn't know, Sakura said, but she suspects. Keep watching her. As long as she's using her phone, we'll know.